Hey guys, I just thought I would make a video. I was going to show you. I'm watching Better Bachelor's book review of Aaron Clarey's Book of Numbers. And the reason I'm showing you this, he was talking about, is it good to get married? My bad. Took the camera off. He was talking about, is it good to get married? Is it, and the book is, from what I've seen, I'm going to try to order it. Looks like it might be a good book. It's short. And he was saying, about if is it a good idea to be married? That he's giving you raw numbers. Like, this is not about, thing went off. This is not about feelings and, should you do this or should you do that? It's about, you're looking at cost-benefit analysis. If you buy this thing and you do this thing, what are you getting back from it? Is it worth your time? And that's what he's doing with marriage here. And it looks like it'd be a good book. I might try to order it. It's only 110 pages, like I said, so that's pretty short. Probably a quick read. But he was talking about, and I'm talking about Better Bachelor, was talking about in the video about, he had a good time. He said some people want to be married and you have to sacrifice to be married. You got to get a good job to help support a family. You can't just work at McDonald's. I'm not insulting that, by the way. But, it's going to be awful hard if that's all you do to support a family. It's going to be very difficult. You got to get a better job. You got to make more money if you're going to have a family. And he was talking about how he didn't, he said some of the best times of his life were, of course, being a single guy and living with his friends and sleeping on a futon and eating macaroni and cheese for 70-something cents, and playing video games. And he said that was some of the happiest times of his life. And I can certainly understand that, And he said, I just didn't want the responsibility of being married. And like I said, if you don't want to be married, you shouldn't be married. And that's for anybody, man or woman. Marriage is very serious, and if you don't want it, you shouldn't do it. And if you don't want kids, you shouldn't have kids. It should be something you want to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it, man. Because, you're not going to put your full effort into it. But here's the problem I have with what he said. The only problem. And like I said, it's not a problem. I mean, it is for a certain number of us. And here's the issue. He was talking about hanging with his friends and playing video games and, sleeping on a futon, obviously not spending a lot of money, and just doing very little, right? Didn't decorate the home, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's fine. I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah, sure, go ahead. But there's a lot of guys like me, and I think Grotesque Subhuman is kind of one of those too. I think, if he sees this video, I guess he'll respond to me. But, if you're like us, you didn't just get rejected by women. Yeah, I didn't get, no woman told me to get the heck away from her. It never was that kind of thing, because I didn't hit on women very much. But, it wasn't just that women did not take me as a mate, or sleep with me, or, marry me and all that. We didn't just have that problem, but then we were cool with the guys. I didn't have women. I didn't have guy friends either. People can say, well, I hung out with the nerds. I may not have hung out with the cool guys, but I did hang out with the nerds, and we played our video games, all that kind of stuff. Well, I didn't have that either. I didn't have any friends. And some of that was me. A part of it, was my issues that I have, being autistic and other things. But a lot of it was just I was an outcast. I was rejected by society. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, man. They get very, let me set this phone down here. Finish the video, okay. This is what some guys don't understand about this, about the manosphere. In the manosphere, I should say. Yeah, there's some guys that, they get rejected by women because women are extremely picky. We know all that stuff. I'm not going to go through that on the video. But, we know that women will reject most men. But guys still have their guy friends. I mean, yeah, that's not sex and romance. We understand that. That's just friendship. But, they do have that, so they're not alone. There's people like us who are alone. We don't even have guy friends, man. We don't even have buddies. We don't even have pals. We don't have anything. And we are the ones that are really suffering in this society the most. I'm not saying guys that can't meet a woman are not suffering. I'm sure they are in their own way. But if you have friends, see, you got something. And I think that's just an issue with some of us guys that I think a lot of normies don't understand. They just don't understand that. And just like Bernard Chapin in one of his books, he was talking about, when he was young, he had a lot of fun. He's in his 50s now. But he had a lot of fun, in his 20s. He said my teens and then my 20s, even into my early 30s. He had quite a bit of fun. Well, I never had that. And there's others that have never had that. So there's a difference, see, that we are having a hard time because we have nothing. A woman never goes through that. She can be rejected by all women and have no female friends, which very rarely happens. Most women have female friends. Not all, but most do. And even if she gets rejected by female friends, even if they reject her and think she's a weirdo or whatever they would think, she can always meet a man. There's always a guy. May not be the top guy. She may not have Superman, but she'll have a guy that will marry her, that will take care of her, that will be with her, that will help her, have children with her and help her raise those children. There's always a guy. And that's what I'm saying. Guys like us are at the bottom here. We're really suffering. And like I said, I don't want to minimize the other guys. I get it. I get it. They don't have a woman. That's the ultimate thing that you want as a man. I get it. Excuse me. But, excuse me again, belching a little bit. Just got finished eating. But that's what I'm saying. They do have something. Maybe they have a good job that they can go to that they like. Maybe they have friends that they can play video games with or talk to or go to sporting events, whatever. But people like us don't have that. We're just rejected. Just like at the bar the other night, I'm sitting by myself, and I'm not blaming everybody for that. Some of it is me because I'm socially awkward. So people may think, which I kind of blame them for in a way, because, you try to tell them a million times, it's not you, it's us. It's just who we are. We can't help that. But either way, people like us, we're alone, man. People don't hang out with us. For some reason, they just consider us social outcasts. They reject us. And that was really my major problem. I didn't even care as much about women when I was younger. Now, I cared. I was attracted to women, but I didn't care about marriage back then. Had no interest at all in it. Never thought of it. It never depressed me that I wasn't married. That was no issue for me when I was young. None. But it is now. Because I'm so alone. And even the sex part anymore, I don't even care about that as much anymore. Yeah, I mean, having sex with a hot girl would be nice. I'm not an idiot. I am a man. But I mean, it's like, it doesn't mean what it would have meant to me. Sex part, I'm talking about, 20 years ago? I don't care about that as much anymore. I was sitting there at the bar, in the club the other night, and I was just sitting there looking at some of the girls, and some of them looked good. Wasn't too many attractive ones in there, but there was a few. It was a quiet night, supposed to be spring break, so a lot of people weren't there, but I was watching some of the girls that were, and they looked okay. They were decent enough. But it's like, yeah, like, okay, I just didn't even feel that. Of course, I'm also suffering withdrawal. That's part of it too. But I mean, even if I wouldn't, I don't think I was that motivated to even talk to them. Yeah, I mean, part of it's nerves, and you're nervous, and you don't want to get rejected and all that. But a lot of it was that I just didn't care as much about doing it. I'm not as horny, and all that stuff as I was when I was young. I don't think about that as much anymore. And I've never even been with a woman. That shows, buddy. It goes away. And, I just don't care about that. I don't know how to describe it. I just don't care anymore. I'm not crying in my sleep every night because I'm not having sex with a woman anymore. That doesn't bother me. It's just not having anybody and being alone and feeling like your life is terrible and that nobody cares about you. That's the hard part now. I think if I just had that, I think I'd be alright. I think if I had a good wife, I mean a good wife, a wife that cares about me and loves me. If I had that, and I had, 2 kids, maybe 1 or 2 kids, I can't now at my age, but I mean, I would have a lot of kids if I was younger. You know, I like to have had kids. But, you know, that just wasn't a possibility for me. And I think if I had that now, I think I'd be okay. I wouldn't even be on here. I might be on here talking about men's stuff because I would want to help men, because I don't like the way our society is right now. Even if I had a good wife and had marriage, I'd still talk about it because I don't like the way our society is right now. And I think it's wrong, and I don't like it. And if you're hearing a car start up, somebody's getting ready to leave over here. You see, right there. Somebody's getting ready to take off. So their vehicle's loud, if that's what you're hearing. But, yeah, I mean, I just don't really care about this anymore. It would just be nice. And that's what I'm saying about these guys. If I even had some guy friends, it would help. You know, it would help. I mean, it wouldn't take everything away, but it would ease the pain a little bit. I've had one or two guy friends, but it was never a good thing. It never ended well. It always went bad. No matter if I had a guy friend or not. That was it. It just always went bad. And I just don't care about doing that anymore. And here's another thing, real quick. I live in a small town, so there's not that many guys anyway. You know, I don't live in a major city. I live in a much smaller town. And most of the guys here eventually get married. They either eventually get married, or if they're not one of the guys that gets married, they're just alone. And they just don't go out and do anything. So, that's the problem. Say you're alone as a guy. And some of them either don't mind it, or they're just don't care. I don't know. You know, I just don't know. But they do. I knew some guys. They either, if they weren't married by the time they were like in their 30s, late 20s, you know, early 30s, they usually were just alone. They just got alone. And that's what makes it so hard for guys like us. You know, you're going to be by yourself. Because most guys are not going to do like that. They're not going to stay single like you. Now, they may be divorced, and maybe some of them then won't get married again. Though, in my experience, around me I'm talking about, in my life, most of the guys that got divorced, they got remarried as soon as they could. I don't know, man. You know, some didn't because they literally couldn't find a woman. And some did because, you know, the moment they found one that would take them, they went. So, you know, I like Better Bachelor's video, and I get what he means, but for a lot of us, we don't have that. We're not cool guys. We can't hang out with the dudes, you know, because the dudes don't like us. And I will always say this. Now, I'm talking about friendships, of course. I'm not talking about sex or romance or anything like that. But I've always had better experiences with women than I have men. I've always gotten along with women more than men. I just have. And I've gotten along better with married men than single men. But anyway, that's all I got to say, guys. I just thought I'd make a comment on that. Just thought it would help, you know. If y'all like this video, leave some comments, and take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.